The reception had been perfect until that moment. 300 guests, a string quartet, centerpieces that cost more than my first car. My wedding to Marcus Chen had been everything I'd quietly dreamed of and nothing my parents had bothered to contribute to. They hadn't paid for the dress, or the venue, or the flowers. Marcus's parents, Helen and Robert, had insisted on covering everything when my parents claimed cash flow issues, the same cash flow issues they'd had from my college graduation, my first apartment, every milestone where other parents traditionally helped. But they'd shown up today, front row, smiling for photos, acting like devoted parents of the bride. I should have known something was coming. The gift presentation happened during dessert. Helen and Robert stood up, Robert tapping his champagne glass with a fork. The crowd quieted. "We'd like to present our gift to the newlyweds," Helen said, her elegant voice carrying across the ballroom. She held up an envelope, the kind that holds important documents. "Marcus, Rachel, we know you've been looking at properties downtown. We'd like to help with that." Marcus squeezed my hand under the table. We'd been apartment hunting for 3 months, saving aggressively, hoping to find something before our lease ended. Robert continued, "We've purchased the penthouse at the Meridian for you, fully furnished, move-in ready. The deed is in both your names." The room erupted in applause. I felt tears prick my eyes. The Meridian was the building we'd toured last month, fallen in love with, and dismissed as impossible. Helen walked toward our table, envelope extended, and my mother intercepted her. "Just step directly into Helen's path, hand out, smile bright." "How incredibly generous," Mom said, taking the envelope from Helen's startled hands. "This $230,000 gift is perfect for Rachel's sister's fresh start." The applause died. Confused murmurs rippled through the crowd. Helen blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" "Rachel's sister, Olivia. She's going through a difficult divorce. This penthouse will be perfect for her and the children." "Such a blessing that you thought of family." My father stood, joining my mother. "Yes, the golden child needs it more. Olivia suffered so much. Rachel and Marcus are young, they can rent for a few more years. But Olivia needs stability now." I couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't process what was happening. Marcus's voice was ice. "That gift is for Rachel and me. And as Rachel's parents," Dad said smoothly, "we're making an executive decision about how best to use family resources. Olivia takes priority. Family resources?" Robert's face was reddening. "That penthouse was purchased from Marcus and Rachel. The deed has their names on it. A technicality we can fix," Mom said, waving a dismissive hand. "We'll have the deed transferred to Olivia. I'm sure you understand she has 3 children. Rachel has no children yet." "The needs are clear." Helen's voice dropped to a dangerous quiet. "Mrs. Morrison, that property is not yours to redistribute. I'm Rachel's mother. I'm making a decision in her best interest. By stealing her wedding gift?" The word stealing hung in the air like a grenade. My mother's face flushed. "How dare you? We're not stealing. We're making a family decision about family priorities." I finally found my voice. "Olivia isn't your family. She's your favorite." Every head in the room turned to me. "Rachel," Dad's tone held a warning. "No." I stood up. Marcus stood with me. "Olivia is the golden child. She's always been the golden child. She got the college fund, the new car, the down payment for her first house. I got cash flow issues, and we'll see, so no, you don't get to take this too." Mom's eyes narrowed. "Lower your voice. You're making a scene at your own wedding. You made the scene when you tried to steal my wedding gift. We're not stealing. Olivia needs—" "I don't care what Olivia needs." The words came out louder than I intended. 300 guests watched in absolute silence. For once, something is mine. Not hers, mine, and you can't have it. My father stepped forward, face darkening. "You will not speak to your mother that way. We raised you better. You didn't raise me at all," I said quietly. "You raised Olivia. I just lived in the same house." Marcus's hand found mine. His voice was steady, lawyer calm. "Mr. and Mrs. Morrison, the penthouse deed is in Rachel's and my names only. You have no legal claim to it. Please return the envelope. We're her parents, with no legal authority over her property." A new voice entered the conversation. "Daniel Park, Marcus's best man and law partner stepped forward from the wedding party table. He'd been watching the entire exchange with the focused attention of someone cataloging evidence. I'm Daniel Park, attorney at law. I helped prepare the property transfer documents for Mr. and Mrs. Chun. That deed is a completed legal transfer to Marcus Chun and Rachel Morrison Chun. Any attempt to interfere with that transfer or fraudulently change the ownership would constitute theft, fraud, and possibly forgery. My mother clutched the envelope to her chest. This is family business, not legal business. The moment you attempted to steal a $230,000 property, it became legal business. We're not stealing. Then return the envelope to Rachel. After we discuss this as a family. There's nothing to discuss. I held out my hand. Give me the deed, Rachel, please. Mom's voice shifted to pleading. Think of your sister. Think of your nieces and nephew. They need Olivia's ex-husband to pay child support. They need Olivia to get a job. They need Olivia to stop depending on you to fix her life. They don't need my wedding gift. How can you be so selfish? How can you? The question echoed through the ballroom. How can you stand here at my wedding and try to take the one significant gift I've ever received? How can you look at me and tell me I don't deserve it but Olivia does? How can you? My voice broke. Marcus's arm went around my waist. Helen's voice cut through, sharp as glass. Mrs. Morrison, give my daughter-in-law the envelope. Now. This isn't your decision. It absolutely is. That's my gift to my son and his wife, not to your other daughter. Hand it over or I'm calling the police. The police! Mom laughed, but it sounded forced. Over a family disagreement? Don't be ridiculous. Robert pulled out his phone. Building security at the Meridian is already aware of this situation. The deed has specific instructions that only Marcus and Rachel may take possession. If anyone attempts to use those documents fraudulently, they'll be arrested. That was a bluff. I could see it in Robert's eyes. But my parents didn't know that. Dad's hand closed on Mom's arm. Margaret, give them the envelope. But Olivia, give them the envelope. The room was absolutely silent. Even the catering staff had stopped moving. Mom's hands trembled as she extended the envelope toward me. I reached for it. She pulled it back. Please, she whispered. Just think about it. Olivia's children are not my responsibility. I snatched the envelope from her hands. My father's face went purple. You ungrateful? Ungrateful? Marcus's voice was deadly quiet. Your daughter paid for her own college, her own car, her own apartment, her own wedding dress, and you have the audacity to call her ungrateful. We gave her life, we raised her. You housed her, I corrected. You fed her. You did the bare minimum required by law. But you saved every scrap of love, money, and support for Olivia. So don't you dare call me ungrateful for wanting to keep one thing that's actually mine. Mom was crying now, full tears, the kind she used to get her way. How can you say these things? At your wedding? In front of all these people? Because you tried to steal from me at my wedding. In front of all these people. Olivia appeared from somewhere in the crowd. Of course she was here. Of course she'd been watching. Rachel, please. Her voice was soft, wounded. I didn't know they were going to do this. But if you're not going to use it right away, stop. She blinked. What? Just stop. Stop acting like you deserve everything I have. Stop acting like your needs matter more than mine. Stop acting like I owe you anything. We're sisters. You're the golden child. I'm the disappointment. That's what we are. That's what we've always been. That's not fair. You got $40,000 for college. I got student loans. You got a new Honda for your 16th birthday. I got a bus pass. You got a $25,000 down payment for your first house. I got sorry, we're tight this month. Don't talk to me about fair. Olivia's face crumpled. I didn't ask for any of that. But you took it, every single time. And you're here now, ready to take this too. Rachel, my mother reached for my arm. I stepped back. Don't touch me. You're my daughter. Then act like it. The words ripped out of me. Act like you're proud of me. Act like you care about my happiness. Act like something in my life matters to you beyond what you can give to Olivia. We love you. You love the idea of looking like good parents. You don't love me. The silence that followed was deafening. Daniel cleared his throat. I think it's time for the Morrison family to leave. Leave? Dad sputtered. This is our daughter's wedding. This is Marcus and Rachel's wedding, Helen corrected coldly. And you've done enough damage. Security will escort you out. I hadn't noticed the venue's security guards approaching. 2 of them, discreet but official. This is outrageous. Dad turned to the crowd, looking for support. Is everyone just going to watch this? Watch our daughter disrespect us like this? Uncle Tom, my father's brother, stood up from his table. Dave, you tried to steal a $230,000 penthouse at a wedding. From your own kid. I love you, but shut up and leave, Aunt Diane nodded. We're embarrassed for you, Margaret. Just go. My parents looked around the ballroom, searching for all eyes, finding none. Even Olivia's ex-husband, sitting at a back table with his new girlfriend. Mom made one last attempt. Rachel, sweetheart, we can talk about this tomorrow. When emotions aren't so high. We'll work something out. There's nothing to work out. The penthouse is mine and Marcus's. That's final. But your sister is a 38-year-old woman who needs to solve her own problems. Olivia was crying now too. I can't believe you're being so cruel. After everything I'm going through, you're going through a divorce because you cheated on your husband with his brother. That's not a tragedy, Olivia. That's a consequence, she gasped. Several guests gasped. Apparently, that detail hadn't made it through the family gossip chain. How dare you, Mom hissed. That's private family business. Then maybe you shouldn't have tried to make my wedding gift your family business. The security guards were waiting, patient but firm. My father grabbed the envelope from my hands, or tried to. Marcus caught his wrist. Sir, don't. That property should go to someone who needs it. It's going to someone who was gifted it, legally, by my parents. To me and my wife. Your wife doesn't deserve it. The words hung there, poisonous, irreversible. Marcus's voice went very quiet. Get out. Now before I forget, I'm at my own wedding and handle this the way you deserve. Dad jerked his arm away, straightened his jacket. Come on, Margaret, Olivia. We don't need to stay where we're not wanted. They left. Olivia crying. Mom crying. Dad radiating fury. The ballroom stayed silent until they were gone. Then Aunt Diane started clapping, slowly at first, then faster. Uncle Tom joined her, then Marcus's parents. Then the whole room. 300 people applauding as I stood there, wedding dress wrinkled, mascara probably running. Clutching an envelope containing the deed to a penthouse, Helen hugged me. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. You have nothing to apologize for. I should have anticipated. No one could have anticipated that, I laughed. It sounded slightly hysterical. Who tries to steal a wedding gift? At the actual wedding? People who have never been told no, Daniel said quietly. People who think they're entitled to everything. Marcus pulled me close. Are you okay? I don't know. Ask me tomorrow. Do you want to end the reception? I looked around the ballroom. At our friends, our chosen family, the people who actually cared about us. The people who just watched me draw a line in the sand and hold it. I want to dance with my husband, and eat cake, and celebrate our marriage. I'm not letting them take this day from me too. The band started playing again. Conversations resumed. The reception continued, but the rest of the evening felt surreal. People approached carefully, offering congratulations tinged with concern. Some shared their own stories of difficult family members. Some just hugged me. My cousin Jeanne pulled me aside near midnight. I'm proud of you. For what? Having a meltdown at my own wedding. For standing up to them. Do you know how many times I've watched them do this to you? How many times I've wanted to say something? No, why didn't you? Because it wasn't my place. But Rachel, what you did tonight. That needed to happen about 20 years ago. The wedding ended at 1 a.m. Marcus and I rode to our hotel in silence, the envelope with the deed sitting on the seat between us. Are you okay? He asked again. They tried to steal a penthouse at our wedding. In front of 300 people. I know. They didn't even hesitate. They just took it, like they had the right. They've always done this, haven't they? I nodded. Olivia needs something. They take from me and give to her. Every time. Not this time. Not this time, I agreed. We moved into the penthouse 3 weeks later. The Meridian, 17th floor, corner unit. exactly as beautiful as we remembered. My parents called 47 times in those 3 weeks. I answered none of them. Olivia called 32 times. Same result. The voicemails were a progression. First, apologies, sort of. We didn't mean to upset you, but we thought you'd understand. Then, justifications. Olivia's situation is desperate. Then, anger. You're being selfish and cruel. Finally, threats. We're your parents. You can't just cut us off. I deleted every single one. My mother showed up at the penthouse on moving day. Building security called up to ask if I wanted them to send her away. Yes, I said without hesitation. Helen had been helping me unpack kitchen boxes. She looked at me with something like pride. Good for you. Does that make me a terrible person? It makes you a person with boundaries. My therapist says the same thing. You're seeing a therapist? Started last week. Turns out having your parents try to steal a penthouse at your wedding is kind of traumatic. Helen hugged me. You're going to be okay, sweetheart. Better than okay. The lawsuit came 6 weeks later. My parents sued me for emotional distress and public humiliation. They claimed I'd damaged their reputation by accusing them of theft at a public event. They were seeking $100,000 in damages. Daniel Park read the filing and laughed. Actually laughed. This is the stupidest lawsuit I've seen all year. And I've seen some stupid lawsuits. Can they win? No. Truth is an absolute defense to defamation. They did try to take the penthouse. In public, in front of witnesses, including several lawyers, he grinned. Actually, this is perfect. How is this perfect? Because now we get to file a countersuit. For attempted theft, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and interference with a gift. We'll bury them. The countersuit was filed 1 week later. We sued for $250,000, the value of the penthouse plus legal fees, therapy costs, and punitive damages. My parents' lawyer, some guy named Mitchell Brennan, who advertised on bus benches, tried to negotiate a settlement. Daniel's response was one sentence. Your client started this. We'll finish it. The trial was set for 4 months later. In those 4 months, the family divided. Aunt Diane and Uncle Tom sided with me. So did Cousin Jun. So did my grandmother on my dad's side, who called to tell me she'd been waiting 20 years for someone to stand up to my parents. They ruined Olivia, Grandma said. Spoiled her rotten, gave her everything, never made her work for anything. And they did the opposite to you, punished you for being independent. I'm glad you're finally fighting back. But my mother's side of the family rallied around my parents. Outraged messages flooded social media. How can Rachel sue her own parents? This is what entitlement looks like. She got a free penthouse, and it still wasn't enough. Marcus and I made our social media accounts private, changed our phone numbers, installed extra security cameras. Olivia started a GoFundMe for a mother struggling after family betrayal. It raised $3,400 before. GoFundMe shut it down for misleading information. The trial lasted 2 days. Daniel presented the wedding video. All of it, every moment from the gift presentation through my parents' removal by security. The jury watched in stunned silence as my mother intercepted the envelope, declared the gift was for the golden child, and refused to return it. Mitchell Brennan tried to argue family dynamics.
Cultural expectations of sharing, the stress of a daughter's wedding, a misunderstanding that escalated.
Judge Robert Harrison wasn't buying it. Counselor, your clients attempted to take possession of a $230,000 property that didn't belong to them. That's not a cultural misunderstanding. That's theft. They're her parents, which gives them exactly zero legal claim to her property. The jury deliberated for 90 minutes. Guilty on all counts. The damages came to $287,500, the value of the penthouse, plus legal fees, therapy costs, and punitive damages for the public humiliation and emotional distress. My parents were also ordered to pay Daniel's legal fees another $43,000, total $330,500. My mother fainted when the verdict was read. My father sat frozen. Olivia, watching from the gallery, started crying. Mitchell Brennan filed an appeal. It was denied in 6 weeks. My parents declared bankruptcy 2 months later. I felt nothing, not satisfaction, not guilt, just a strange, empty relief. Is it wrong that I don't feel bad? I asked Dr. Reeves, my therapist. Do you think you should feel bad? They're my parents. They're bankrupt. They re-bankrupt because they tried to steal from you and then sued you when you wouldn't let them. Those were their choices, but they're suffering. So were you, for years. They just didn't care. She was right. I received one letter from my mother after the bankruptcy filing. Handwritten 6 pages long. It said she was sorry I felt hurt. Sorry I'd misunderstood their intentions. Sorry I'd chosen money over family. Sorry I'd destroyed their lives over a simple disagreement. Not sorry for what she'd actually done. I showed the letter to Marcus. She still doesn't get it. She never will, he said gently. People like that don't change. They just get better at blaming everyone else. I burned the letter in our fireplace. Watched it curl and blacken and disappear. It felt like closure. 1 year after the wedding, Marcus and I hosted a dinner party at the Penthouse. Aunt Diane, Uncle Tom, Cousin Jun, Grandma, Helen, and Robert, Daniel, and his wife, people who'd supported us. People who stood by us. People who actually loved us. To family, Robert said, raising his glass. The family you choose. To family, we all echoed. Later, standing on the balcony overlooking the city, Marcus wrapped his arms around me. Any regrets? I thought about it, really thought about it. No, I said finally. They made their choice. I made mine. One chose myself. For once, good choice, the best one I ever made. 2 years later, Olivia sent a Facebook message. She'd moved to another state, started over, got a job, found a therapist. I'm sorry, she wrote, for everything. For letting Mom and Dad give me everything. For expecting you to give me more. For thinking I deserved your wedding gift. I'm working on myself now. I understand if you never want to talk to me again. But I wanted you to know I'm sorry. It was the first real apology I'd ever received from anyone in my family. I wrote back, thank you for saying that. I'm glad you're doing better. I need more time. Maybe someday we can talk, but not yet. She wrote back, I understand. Take all the time you need. I might talk to her someday. Maybe in a few years. When enough distance and healing have happened. Or maybe not. Either way, it's my choice now, my decision, my boundary. My life, the penthouse is still ours, we've made it home. Painted the walls, hung photos. Built a life inside these windows and walls that my parents tried to take. Sometimes I think about that night, the fairy lights, the envelope. My mother's hand reaching out to take something that was never hers. And I think about my hand reaching back.
Taking it back, keeping it.
For the first time in my life, I kept something they tried to take. And I'd do it again. Every single time.